今、黄金のマスクがよみがえる。パーソナルワークステーション X68000。
Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Meso. Today we're going to continue the series on the Sharp X68000, my favorite games to play on it, and today we're playing Cho Ren Sha 68K. This is definitely the best shmup on the platform in my opinion, and it is absolutely balls to the wall hard in the best way possible. I'm actually going to be doing something interesting. I'm doing a no-cut run here until I have to use the continue, because I actually performed relatively well having not played this game for like the last year, and I figured it'd be easier to explain how it works if you just watch it happen in real time. Before you get too far involved, though, do me a huge favor down below, hit like and subscribe and ring that notification bell, definitely helps us out. And if you feel so inclined and want to support the channel, we got a Patreon link down below as well. But this is a pronunciation probably incorrect doujin game, which is a fan-made game. This does not come from a real development studio. It was actually made at a shmup convention, at least to start, and is on version 1.1 as of the making of this video. And while it has been ported to a lot of different platforms, it started its life on the X68000, and that is the only place I have ever played it. And this is exactly what you want if you love a bullet hell shmup. It is challenging, the bullet patterns are incredible, it gives you so much reward when you do well, and it tests you at every single inch of the game. But when you start learning the patterns, getting better, and getting further into the game on the one credit that you do get allowed to have, you're going to start feeling like you're invincible, and that's why I love this so much. It is just pure challenge, and it also is married to some of the best visuals on the X68000 in my opinion. This is keeping up at 60 frames a second with all these projectiles on the screen at once, no issues. Now you will see that these power-ups come out, and there is actually a secret to them. If you sit in the middle of them for long enough, you actually get to collect all three of them, but it does require a risk of dealing with trying to stay in that power-up and move your ship even though projectiles are coming towards you. If you do it right, you get the shield and everything else along with it. If you do it wrong, you end up taking a death and you end up losing every single power-up you have. But I love that that's a little hidden mechanic. The game will never explain it to you, but if you do sit in the middle for just a bit, you get to collect all three. But as these ships continually come in and this background continues to scroll, this is just the type of instantaneous feedback game that I super enjoy. You get to see the bullet patterns in real time, you get to try to navigate around the screen, you get some incredible boss fights. This is just a bullet hell shmup firing on all cylinders, and it works so well. In this first boss here, you're already getting some major difficulty in it. I'm taking my first death of the actual run, so I'll blow off a bomb here just to protect myself a little bit more. But it is such an interesting game, and how you have to manage the screen space around you. You have these two ships rotating around, they're both sending out these geometric bullets, but they're sending them out in different areas of the screen, so you're not trying to just navigate around one pattern, you're trying to navigate around two at the same time. And if you feel like you're at risk, using that bomb is always going to be a great strategy, because it at least keeps you alive long enough. If you think you're going to take a death, use a bomb, because you're going to lose the bomb on that life anyway. But we've made it all the way through stage 1 here on 1 credit so far, and trust me, if you've never played this game before, and I haven't played it in about a year, that's a feat in and of itself. But let's move on to stage 2, and it gets so much harder from here. To actually beat this game is going to require a lot of practice. You can continue from where you left off if you enable continuing, but the real goal of a game like this is to be able to see the credits on the first credit that you use. A 1cc of this game is definitely possible, and it's going to be a lot of fun practicing towards it. But again, just look at everything going on at once. The colors in this game, the sprites, the backgrounds, the parallax scrolling, everything about this just works. And the idea that this is a fan-made game and not a retail release from a development house that deals in shmups is that much more impressive. Now, while this is not as artistically complex as something like a cave bullet hell shmup, I think mechanically it's every bit as good as one of their games. And honestly, it's just a stylistic choice, or where I might prefer cave ever so slightly better. But this is just bullet hell shmup gold. All of these bosses, all of these patterns, this explosion going on, it gives you something to do every single second, and it marries that with an absolutely spectacular soundtrack as well. So I'm going to give you 45 seconds of the music, and I'll come right back to this run in progress, and we'll see how far I got. But trust me, this music is great. I hope you enjoy it, because I absolutely love it. It's just great music and it sells the intensity, and now that we're further in, you're going to see the intensity keeps just ramping up. Now of course, like any bullet hell shmup, it's not your entire ship that's invulnerable, just the inside of it. You can actually graze some bullets and it'll be totally fine for you, and you usually get one of those power-up sets before you go into a boss. And again, the number one way to actually get further in this game is to sit in between the power-up and collect all three at once. Shield is going to give you one free hit, and then you have a bomb icon as well as a power-up icon. Collecting all three of those is going to be absolutely crucial, but you'll see here as I navigate around the screen, I just felt like I was on this day. Because like I said, I probably haven't played this game in well over a year, but it was something that instantaneously started to remember some of the patterns on, because I have played this game an absolute ton in my life, and I have yet to actually 1cc it. I've seen the ending with continues that you can take from the main menu, but honestly, I have still never seen the end of this game on the 1 credit, but it's still something I always work back towards, and I really want to try to actually see. Because you'll see here, we're able to make it past this stage as well on our 1st credit, and that is definitely something that should be considered a victory, especially if you haven't played it recently. But that's why I'm always trying to sell people on bullet hell shmups. If you don't think this is something you can do, if it's not something you think you can play, just give it a try. All you have to lose is time, but you may find one of your new favorite genres, because honestly, the feedback loop on these things is better than any other video game genre I have ever played. Once you start getting good at them, you just become addicted to them. You'll see that I got like 1/3 of the way through stage 3 on the 1st credit. Because I haven't played in a while, I'll take that as a big victory, but luckily it does allow you to continue where you left off if you set continues on in the main mode. And I will say right now, I am just playing this at the normal difficulty. There's an impossible mode as well that I'll show you in just a moment, and if anybody can 1cc that, I will be highly impressed. I would consider it to probably be one of the hardest 1cc attempts in all of bullet hell shmup history. But leave me a comment down below and tell me what you think the most difficult shmup is. I would be really curious to hear that. But this is just so amazing. It's wild to think that a fan made this game. This is standing toe-to-toe with some of the best shmups ever made as far as I'm concerned, and the fact that there is not an entire team behind it makes it that much more impressive. And that's how much people actually love this genre. They go out and they make their own games, and they make one of the most famous shmups of all time on the Sharp X68000, and in general. I will put this up there with the best of Cave or any other shmups developments any day of the week. And as we move further into stage 3, you're going to see the difficulty is just starting to get severe here. You need to get every single power up. You always need to be carrying a shield with you, because you have 3 lives, and once they're over, you're going to have to continue. And as you're learning this game, you're going to end up in a stage where you can't even get past it to get to the continue to the next stage without spending an hour or 2 just practicing the raw patterns. Because you'll see something like right here, saving that bullet saved me, because I was definitely looking at a death right there. Use your bombs strategically. They're going to get you from level to level. Do not sit on them for too long, because if you don't use them when you need them, you're 100% going to take a death. But one more taste of the soundtrack, because I absolutely love it. 30 seconds and I'll come back and tell you just a bit more history of the game. But enjoy. And if you can't already tell, once you get to the stage 3 boss, things just really absolutely light up, and today I was not able to overcome that, at least on this capture, but even getting to the stage 3 boss was an accomplishment. But if you go to the configure menu, we'll set the game level up to impossible. This is where you can also enable continues, and you will see here that once we get back to stage 3, it is just going to get absolutely insane. I've never been able to get past stage 3 on impossible mode. Most of the time I can finish this game on normal mode if I practice for maybe like 4 to 6 hours. But impossible mode is just that. For 99% of people, this is going to be something that they could never beat. But that's where the fun comes, in trying. This would be one of your biggest gaming accomplishments ever. If you could in 1 credit beat this game on impossible mode, I would tip my hat to you, but I don't wear hats in real life, so I guess that isn't really much of an offer. But if you've never played this game before, definitely check it out. Cho Ren Sha 68K is one of the most impressive shmups I've ever played, whether it's made by a full development team known for making shmups or made by one fan who just wanted to try his hand at the genre. This is just a special game. It is so much fun to play. It's so much fun to get better at. It's so visually interesting. It's got a great soundtrack and it's got some wild challenge. So definitely check it out. If you have any questions, leave them down below. But we are done. I have died and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.